Hey guys, welcome back to the Docker series. So far we have seen what is Docker Hub and how to pull an image from Docker Hub and create containers by running those images. Also we have seen how to configure these images according to our needs and how containers can communicate with each other. But what if you want to build your own image for your application? That's our topic for this video. In this video, for demonstration, we will be building a custom image for our Spring Boot application and try to Dockerize this application by covering the most useful commands that we use in Dockerfile. So without any further delay, let's get started. To build an image, we would write Dockerfile. Dockerfile is a text document with a list of instructions to build an image. And we will run docker build command to build an image out of this Dockerfile. Then you can push that image to Docker Hub if you want to share it with the community or you want to pull it in a different environment. You can also create the container with the local image that you built. But what is a Dockerfile? As we discussed, it's a text document with a list of instructions to build an image. All these instructions will be in the form of instruction followed by arguments. For example, if you want to copy something from your local to the image, all you will do is copy space source space destination. This will copy app.jar, which is in the target folder of the host, to the root directory of the image. The instruction is not case sensitive, meaning capital copy and small copy both are same. However, the convention is for them to be uppercase to distinguish them from arguments more easily. You can also add comments for better readability with hash. To better understand how we can write this Dockerfile, let's try to write Dockerfile for a Spring Boot application. This is simple to-do application developed with Spring Boot. Pretty simple, with just few CRUD operations. In this application, we have a couple of APIs, create a to-do item and get all to-do items. No authentication and all for simplicity. This will connect to the Mongo database that we deployed using Docker in the previous video of this series. No matter how complex your application is, the way we build images will be almost the same. I have added the Git repository link of this project in the description of this video if you want to go through it. Let us see how we can run this Spring Boot application without Docker so that we can mimic the same steps with Docker. Traditionally, once we finish developing the application, we will run mvn clean package. This will generate the jar file in the target directory. We can verify that here in the target directory we have todo-1.0.0.jar. So this is the jar file which we run to start the application. To start the application, all we'll do is java-jar target slash todo-1.0.0.jar. If you see, the application is started and we can test those APIs from the Postman. If you don't know what Postman is a desktop tool with which you can test your APIs. This is the Mongo Express we ran in the previous video of this series, and we don't have any to-do database here. Let's try to create a to-do item. It is created. Let's verify that in our Mongo database. Let's refresh this, and a to-do database is created, and there's a collection called to-dos. In that we have our to-do item. We can also get the to-do items with the get API, the to-do item. Let us try to run the same Spring Boot application with Docker. Generally, the packaging part which we have done with the mvn clean package outside of the Docker, like in Jenkins or any other CA tool. But you can do the packaging part also in Docker. For simplicity, we will package outside of the Docker. Already we have generated the jar file. As an initial step in building an image, we should create Dockerfile. Dockerfile. No extension. Please note that it's not mandatory that the file name must be Dockerfile only. It can be anything. The only thing the Docker daemon cares about is the instructions in the Docker file are valid. The validation is performed before starting the actual building process. Well, here are the steps we will do in Dockerfile to run this application. Download Java, because we are going to run this application in an isolated environment, which is the container, and it does not use the local Java. fully isolated. Next, we will copy the jar file from local to image. Next, run application with java jar. That's it. If we can convert these steps to Dockerfile instructions, we are good. Let us start by writing Dockerfile with the above steps. Every image that you find in Docker Hub has a Dockerfile. This is the Dockerfile of the Alpine image that we worked with recently. Let us try to write Dockerfile like this for a Spring Boot application. As a first step, we need to download the Java in the container. To run the Spring Boot application, we need Java, right? So the first thing we should mention to Dockerfile is please pull the Java image because we need to run the Java application. This can be done with from image name. We need Java image. Let us try to find Java image in Docker Hub. Java. If you see, this is the official image of Java. So we will be using OpenJDK and we will use 18-JDK. So OpenJDK colon and the version is 18-JDK. If you are using any code editor, you can see the version suggestions here. You can use any Java version that you would need. A Docker file must begin with a from instruction. However, you can write comments. Also, you can declare some global variables. We will see how we declare a variable in some time. These comment lines are removed before the Dockerfile instructions are executed. The from instruction sets the base image for subsequent instructions. Next, we will copy the jar file from local to image. To copy a file, we use copy instruction with source and destination. Our source is target slash to do hyphen 1.0.0.jar, and we will copy this to the root directory of the image to do hyphen 1.0.0.jar. Instead of copy, you can use add also. Both copy and add instructions serve similar purposes. They let you copy files from a specific location into the Docker image. Add does a little more compared to copy. Add also lets you use a URL instead of a local file or directory so that it gets downloaded into the image from the URL. Also, you can extract a tar file from the source directly into the destination. A valid use case for add is when you want to extract a local tar file into a specific directory in your Docker image. This is exactly what Alpine image does with add. It is extracting the tar file into the root directory with add instruction. Now we should start the service. As we discussed in the previous video, the only purpose of a container is to run some service or process. If you don't run anything, it will exit immediately. If you look at the Docker file of Alpine, we are not running any process here. SH is not a process like web server. SH waits for the inputs from the terminal. So that's the reason Alpine image gets exited if you run it. To make it run, we were passing the sleep command from the terminal. That's where the entry point helps. Entry point helps to run something. In our case, we need to run a jar file. So it can be done with entry point java -jar and to do -1.0.0.jar. Instead of entry point, cmd instruction can also be used. The main difference between the two is commands passed to entry point will be appended to the existing command, whereas commands passed to the cmd will replace entire command. As we are not passing any commands to this, let's use entry point. Also, let's change this one to copy because this is more relevant as we are just copying the file from one location to another location. So, entry point or CMD instruction allows you to configure a container that will run as an executable. Well, we covered all the steps to build an image for our Spring Boot application. Note that we just written instructions. We didn't run the set to build an image. Now we should build the image from this Docker file. To build an image from Dockerfile, we should run docker build -t. -t flag is used to tag an image, meaning to give a name and version to our image. Let me name this image as todo-api and version is 1.0.0. Next, we should give the location of the Dockerfile, that is current directory. Let's hit enter. If you see, the image is built with this tag. Let's verify that with Docker images. Here we go. We have to do API image with 1.0.0 version. Here we are using 18-JDK version. What if we want to give this version while building the image instead of hard coding here? In programming language, we achieve this using variables. The same thing can be done here. We can create variables and use those with arg instruction. Arg instruction is used to create variables. Arg is the only instruction that may proceed from in the Dockerfile. So let's create a variable with Java version. And we can use that variable here instead of hard coding this Java version. We can access this variable using dollar flower braces and variable name. This variable can be passed during the build time with hyphen hyphen build hyphen arg your variable name is equal to value. If you don't want to pass this variable and have a default value to this variable, you can give it here with equal to 18-JDK. So while building the image, if you don't pass this variable, the default value will be used. So the arg instruction defines a variable that users can pass at build time to the builder with the docker build command. Variables can also be defined using env instruction. Env creates environment variables. Env instruction creates the environment variables. The main difference between arg and env is that environment variables are persisted when a container is run from the resulting image, meaning you can access these variables even within the container. The variables defined using arg instruction are just temporary and can be used only during building an image. If you have same variable name for arg and env, environment variables defined using the env instruction always override an arg instruction of the same name. We can override these environment variable values with -e flag while running an image, just the way we have seen while running the MongoDB container. Next, instead of copying this jar file to the root directory of the container, we'll try to create a separate folder for our application and copy our jar file to that folder instead of throwing it in the root directory. Generally, mkdir is used to create folders. So we will create folder called opt/deployment. But as we discussed, every run should start with instruction. Run command is used to execute these shell scripts. Okay, the directory is created. Now we'll copy the jar file to this directory. Well, we copied the jar file to this directory. Also, when we invoke this jar file, we should give proper directory. Cool. This should work. If you look here, we duplicated this many times. So let's move it to variable. So arg app home is equal to directory name, and here we can simply access this one. Also, we can do the same over here. Yep. So instead of using this directory here, what we can do is we can change the working directory. The working directory can be changed with work dir instruction and our app home. This is similar to changing your current directory in the terminal or command line with the cd command. The subsequent instructions after this work dir command will be relative to this working directory. If the working directory doesn't exist, it will create even if it's not used by any subsequent instructions. This instruction can be used multiple times in Dockerfile. Before actually building the image, let's add some metadata to the image like application version, etc. The metadata can be added with label version 1.0.0. Multiple labels can be added in a single Docker file. We can expose the port, expose 8080. Please note that this is different from -p flag that we use while running the image. Publishing port is used to bind your container port to the host port, and that is used to access your service from your local host. Whereas expose port is used when other container wants to talk to this service which is in different container. Whereas publishing port is used when you want to access your service from the local host. Well, we have Dockerfile for our Spring Boot application. let's go ahead and build the image out of this Docker file and run the container. This is my project directory, and if you see here, I have Docker file in the root directory. So docker build -t to do API 1.0.2. This is my version of the image, not version of the project. Dot. The dot indicates that the current directory. So whenever we instruct the directory, it will tar the entire directory and it will send it to the Docker daemon. Let's hit enter. Well, the image is ready now. Let's verify that with Docker images. We have 1.0.2 version. Let's try to run this image. Docker run. Let's publish the port 8080 to 8080. Run it in the detached mode, and image name is to-do-api 1.0.2. Let's run it. If you see, the 8080 port is already in use. This is because we are running the Spring Boot application with the jar file. Let's stop this. Now let's try to run the image. Awesome, the container is created. Let's see whether it started from the Docker logs. Docker logs container ID. Boom, there's some error. If you see, the connection is refused. This is because in the application.properties, we are giving the local host as MongoDB host. If you watched my previous video, localhost cannot be accessed within the container. Either you need to give the IP address of the MongoDB container, or you need to start this service in the same network that MongoDB is running, and then you can give the container name as host here. These are all environment variables. Instead of changing the application.properties, I will pass this host as environment variables. This property can be set in the Dockerfile as an environment variable, or we can pass this environment variable with the -e flag while running the image. Let's pass this one from the docker run command. I'm passing the environment variable here instead of localhost MongoDB, and we should run in the same container that MongoDB is running. Let's hit this now. The port is already in use because of the previous container that we created. Let's try to stop this. Docker stop container ID and docker remove container ID. Well, we'll run this image now. Docker logs container ID. Well, the application is started and it is listening on localhost 8080. So we are accessing the localhost 8080, and let's run this one. If you see, we got the response. This is working the same way as we ran with jar file. Okay, let's get into the container and see if the directories are created properly or not. Docker ps, and this is our container. So docker exec -it container id and sh. So we are in the container now. So let's try to print present working directory. If you see, the opt deployment is created. You can also list the environment variables. So this is the environment variable that we have set. Also, we can see the version of Java that is installed in this container. I'm sorry, Java version. If you see, the Java 18 version is installed in this container. I hope the concept of Dockerfile is clear to you and you can write your Dockerfile on your own. As a practice, try to build a Docker image for your React.js application. You can find a bunch of React.js applications on GitHub. I hope you followed along with me and the Spring Boot application is up and running in your system. We will be using the Spring Boot APIs in our next videos. My name is Pavan Elthepu, and thank you very much for watching this video. If you liked it, please share it with your friends and do not forget to subscribe to my channel to not miss any updates.